classes are in English? Can you define?
Well, it's basically like you have a teacher and students, and they're in a room learning.
Yeah,
I mean, this teacher teaches the students in a room.
exactly. Right. So it's similar to that in coding. Let's say you want to make it anything, an object. An object could be like a character, a player, a box, a shape, a simple task itself can be actually referenced to a class. So let's take an example of we are creating a shape, or we are just creating a square box like this.
Hmm.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
to I want to create a square box, and it's my object of the game or a project, and it's definitely going to be a sprite. A sprite is a character in your game. So our class today is square, or let's say draw button. So draw a button or make a button, and this is my class. Now, a class usually have it's like a big container, similar to what you said about classes, like school. We have a big classroom and many students in it, and teacher and many students in it. Class in coding does the same job. It has a big box. Inside of this big box, you have many functions. Remember about functions we did?
Yes.
What are they?
It's like oh, like the four types of functions, or
Any
just
type of function. Like in general, what do you think about what functions are?
you have an input and an output. It's
Mm,
probably the wrong definition of a function.
yeah, but function is
Um,
basically like, an activity or code which is gonna do something when you're gonna call it. Remember
something
we did
isn't it like the thing
DEF.
that makes
Yes.
something work? Maybe
Yes.
that's what it means. Okay, well that was the most horrible definition ever, so sorry about that.
It's close. All right. So let's say a class can have many functions. Primarily, like it has one main function which runs the whole thing. So you will have one main functions and many functions connected to it, which are referenced to the class itself. Now, in simple understanding, let's say we are creating a class for button. So your button class will have one primary method or one primary function, which does the main job, like a very simple job, is to just create a square or a rectangle, because we don't have square, we have rect. So it just creates a rect and it's a button. That's it. Secondary functions can be more than one. Uh, they can be like much more than one. And what their job is to make it look better, make it function, and does the rest of the job. So, for example, I can write down play inside, I can fill color, add some kind of design and border, animation, logics, um, design much better way, and all of those. So that's how basically class works. But we will be learning them through scripting way. Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
So step one, I'm gonna remove this horrible drawing and gonna come back here, import Pygame. Second, we need to use the specific tools from Pygame called GFX Draw to just draw a part of buttons. Even you can just avoid it, but I'll include it. Now colors, you can skip this part or you can have it. It's up to you. I'm gonna be using some simple colors, for example, black, white, red, green, blue. But you can use Google Color Picker always if you want to just get any color you like. So replace those colors with yours. I'll be using the same primary colors. So 255, all the sides, red the first, green second. Um, then we need to initialize Pygame. Oh, the screen size. Let's set the width to 600. We don't need to make it that big. So 600 height to 4. And size is a list, width and height together in it. Now we're going to create the class. just before we create the class, I'm going to just pygame.init, pygame.quit, initialize the stream, pygame.display.set node size, and let's give it a caption or the title to your game as button function. I'm going to create a list of all buttons as a group. So I'm going to create buttons as a variable and make it a group of them. So if I say pygame.sprite.group, this creates a group of all the characters, and then we can add them inside buttons later. FPS, frames per second. And let's give it a name as clock, pygame.time.clock. Okay, now we're going to create classes over here. And there's going to be a little bit of lengthy code, but after that, we're going to run the whole thing. There will be a different way of doing it, but we'll come to it. Can you do the code until here?
Yeah.
Now, but this is going to be the start of a new topic, classes. We're going to create a class for button. So to make a class, in function, we create a function like this. Let's say draw a square, something. But classes holds all these functions together. So we're creating a class. I'm going to say class button. That's the name of the class I've given. And what type of class it is. If you don't give anything here, it's a simple class. And a simple class would have one primary function and many secondary functions. So secondary functions. There could be more than one. So to make it more into an annotated way, so you create a class called button. So, or let's say you're creating a class called player. Now, the job of the primary function is going to be to do the very specific or very basic step, and that is to create a simple character. Either add an image or to simply make a character, a very simple character itself. Or let's say it's just going to create a character as a box. Good. That's the job of the primary function, because this is just like a key. It's gonna trigger or build or run this class itself. So primary functions are basically the starting key for your class. The secondary functions does the job. There could be more than one function for that. For example, one of the secondary function will make this character look like a character, like turn this box into a head, give it a proper shape, give it an ability to move around, make your character look good. And yeah, or add more logics, touch, collision effects, so much more. Good. Now in class, when you code it, this class, we're creating a class for a button. So there would be many different types of button, and each class would do something. Remember